Welcome to an incredibly overcast day here in London. We have two incredibly exciting lenses from Canon. Firstly, we have the 7-14 RF fisheye lens, and we have the 14mm f1.4. Now, I don't normally shoot with a fisheye or super wide angles either, so it's either going to be really exciting or really terrifying. Let's go find out. This lens is not a fisheye, so this one is particularly good for architecture and keeping those lines straight rather than barreled. So let's give you some top line specs on this lens. Well, firstly, it is a 14mm super wide f1.4 lens, a first in the RF mount. It has an 11 bladed aperture. It also has Canon's VCM AF motors. And finally, it has superior chromatic aberration and coma control to make sure that your shots, while shot at f1.4, have none of those unwanted optical issues. So much like with the 7-14, let's give you some of the handling and construction elements of the lens. So firstly, it also has quite a deep lens cap here to obviously contain that kind of petal hood, as well as a kind of slightly bulging front element there. And again, that feels fantastic. Classic Canon L lens construction, everything feels super premium, especially that multifunction ring right at the front. And equally with the focus ring, it feels really lovely and damped and really just a joy to use with that really super long throw. And then you have the aperture control here at the base of the lens, which goes from f1.4 all the way to f16, and then you also have your auto function as well. And here on the side, finally, we have the AF MF button, another customizable kind of control here, and then we have the iris lock as well. Now, this lens is a little bit heavier than the 7-14 that we've just had a look at. This one comes in at 578 grams, which, considering this is a 14mm f1.4 lens that covers a full frame sensor, I would say that's pretty impressive. So we've gone through the key specs on the 14mm f1.4 here, but what else is this lens offering you? Well, I'm not going to go too deeply into the lens construction inside the lens, but it is carrying some serious technology in here, especially in the shape of a fluorite element, which are incredibly expensive, but also really needed to maximize optical performance, especially when shooting fully open. Now, this being a 14mm lens, but more importantly, a 14mm lens being released in 2026, edge-to-edge sharpness is one of the things that happens to be quite important, especially for the kind of applications that the lens will be used for, such as shooting the night sky or even landscapes. You do want that edge-to-edge sharpness. And also close focusing, very important spec on these wide lenses, and the 14mm f1.4 will focus to 24 centimeters. And finally, we have SWC and ASC coatings on the elements here, and that is to make sure that any aberrations, any ghosting is reduced, especially when shooting against the sun. And that represents Canon's newest technologies. So who is the 14mm f1.4? Now, I'm not going to lie to you and pretend that everyone would make use of a lens like this. I think it's something a little bit niche for people that really want to make use of that incredibly wide look, or if they have uses for lenses when they're in incredibly tight spaces. So saying that, I would say that a 14mm lens is pretty much invaluable for those wanting to do architecture, for example, but specifically in a rectilinear lens package. Equally, people doing landscape and they want to take advantage of the superior image quality that a prime provides. 14mm f1.4 is very niche, and it's particularly pricey as well. So those kinds of images will already have something that maybe other people won't be able to do. So how do I feel about this 14mm f1.4? Well, if I'm honest with you, I was actually quite excited about using it. even though I knew that using an ultra wide prime is extremely challenging if it's not something that you're used to doing. However, maybe I'm not the best person to use as an example. I think for a lot of people, a 14mm prime is exactly what you need, and it's the only thing that will do. Now, this lens is made extra special by the fact that it has the f1.4 aperture, but the fact that Canon have made this lens specifically for hybrid users. And I think from that point of view, it makes it extremely appealing. Add to that L lens construction, so that weather sealing and fantastic control and usage, and you've got a recipe for pretty much optical perfection. So we've put away the 14mm f1.4 and we're going to just focus in on the 7-14 fisheye. So the first thing that makes it special is the 7-14 zoom range. Now, if you remember, the old EF lens had a zoom range of 8-15. So this one is actually wider. So you gain about 1 millimeter at the wide end and you lose 1 millimeter at the top end. So 7-14 versus 8-15. Now this one, because of the extreme construction on that front element, it means that you can't really put filters on there, something that has plagued extreme wide angles and fisheyes for a very long time. So this one has drop-in filters. And finally, this one gives you a 190-degree field of view, which is crazy. So let's talk a little bit about the construction of this lens, and by that I mean the things that you can see from the outside. So first things first, the lens hood is probably one of the biggest kind of anomalies, I would say, when it comes to this lens. It's very deep, as you can see, to protect that front element. This multifunction ring here at the front feels beautiful, as does the focus ring and the zoom ring. I think the zoom ring is incredibly nice, and it has a super short throw, as you might expect for what is basically only a 7-14mm lens. Other than that, you have your AF and MF switch here, and a programmable button here as well. And lastly, you do have the drop-in filter. So what else does the 7-14 fisheye offer? Well, it offers focus breathing suppression, something that Canon is actually making a big effort to try and reduce across pretty much all of its recent released lenses. Now, obviously, because all lenses nowadays have a bit more pressure on them to be hybrid performance, both for video and photography, that breathing suppression is incredibly important. And because of the extreme width of this lens, it might mean that the effects of focus breathing might not be as evident as, let's say, a 50 or a 90mm. It's nice to see that Canon have still made the effort to put that into this lens. Now, who is this lens for? Well, that's a tricky one. You think a lens as niche as this would only have a couple of applications in terms of photography genres, but actually a lens like this would work with pretty much any genre whatsoever. It's just entirely up to you as to what your style and what you want to achieve will dictate. But a lens like this would work beautifully in street photography for very, very unique perspectives, but also with fashion. I think fashion is a huge application for a lens like this. Equally, extreme sports, skateboarding, surfing, put it in a housing and get extreme kind of barrelation once you're in the water. Equally, landscape photographers can use this lens at 14mm, but they can also have the options of using the wider end as well. I have seen extreme fisheyes being used very, very successfully in music videos. So literally, it is up to you where you want to use this lens. Is it a lens that you're going to use a hell of a lot? Maybe not. But it's certainly a lens that when you need it, only this lens will do. I think both lenses are both incredible additions to Canon's amazing L range, and to be honest with you, their RF range in general. They're both making use of Canon's latest technology, both optically and from an autofocus point of view. So I find both of these lenses extremely exciting. Lenses that maybe are a little bit niche, but when you need them, they are the only things that will do. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.